Hello, ladies, gentlemen, everyone in between and beyond. My name is Taylor, and welcome back to the art table for April 2024, this time featuring Elver Lee, a fantastic commission artist who primarily works in a very, I want to say, mid to late 2010s anime style. Now, I will apologize if my voice sounds a little off. I'm a little sick at the time of recording, but I wanted to make sure to get this video out on time. So, to get the usual disclaimer out of the way, I do not take any sort of kickback, promotion, discount, commission, payment, or anything of the sort in relation to these videos. I do this purely for the love of the artwork. If I have had a commission done by the artist, I will let you know. If I do not mention it, then that means I have not had a commission done by them. All commission prices, timing, everything like that is set by the artist. Any deals you make are between you and them. I am in no way involved, cannot get you a discount, cannot get anything sped up, and cannot get you in contact with them. That is purely up to you. They have every right to refuse, every right to set the time frame they feel is appropriate, and the price they feel is appropriate. Please do not share their artwork without their permission. I have written permission from every artist that I feature here on the channel, and please do not share my video without the appropriate watermarks and the appropriate disclaimer, because I am sharing someone else's work with their permission for me to share it, not for you. With all that being said, Elver does some fantastic, as I say, anime-inspired or anime-styled pieces from a variety of different existing properties, as well as seemingly her own characters. With all that in mind, let's get into it. So I wanted to start off with this piece because A, looks fantastic, B, it's a beautiful kind of gray shaded pencil drawn picture, which is awesome, and C, it is an onion ring. I'm not gonna lie, not enough art has an onion ring, and thankfully I am not recording this while I'm hungry. I just had dinner, but it just, I don't know, it felt fitting to start off with an onion ring because it is in some ways superior to fries, depending on what restaurant you go to. I will not name names because I don't want to spark a huge debate, but there are certainly restaurants where I always get the onion rings over the fries, and I respect Elver's decision here. Now, I also wanted to call out the fact that she does an amazing job at portraying, depth and lighting, even just in this gray shading. She does fantastic shadows. She's great light lines and reflection lines. Everything looks really nice and neat. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm looking at the inner cup with the headphone on her right side, and it kind of looks like a glazed donut. I think I am a little hungry, more so for dessert than anything, so I'm seeing a donut where there should just be a headphone. Regardless, it looks super clean. It is very anime style. I really appreciate that because, you know what? It is her style. She's found what she does well and she's found what she enjoys, and I think that's fantastic. I am curious to see kind of what day this would be. This feels like just an outing, maybe on a fall evening. You want to enjoy some nice crisp onion rings right before winter hits. It's still a little chilly, so you got the windbreaker, but it's not so cold that you need a big heavy jacket. Speaking of the cold, let's heat things up with this next piece. So I picked this second piece primarily because it shows the real distinction between the original line work that you're going to see at the beginning versus the finished product, which has so much color, so much flair, and so much beauty to it, and can show you just how art evolves, how ideas evolve from this basic outline to just this beautiful rendered piece that really reminds me of a lot of the pieces I would see at like an anime convention, and I'm okay with that. I still have a couple on my wall of this same style, so for me this also has some nostalgia to it. That being said, I did also pick this because whenever I see Persona, my mind immediately goes to John. And if there's ever a Persona piece, I will always include it and mention John because he's the biggest Persona fan that I know. I have a few other friends who are Persona fans, but he's the most vocal one that I'm aware of. So John, this is partly for you. This is also partly to show just how much work Elver puts in to help these pieces evolve and elevate from a simple outline into a beautiful finished product. I picked this piece for very similar reasons to the last piece. It felt very nostalgic. Again, that style that as soon as you walk into the artist alley of any anime convention, that was harder to say than I wanted it to be, this is the style that you would see, and there's nothing wrong with it. I think that's fantastic, but it just held so many memories for me, and the fact that the Death Knight is just doing a heart and being cutesy in the background is adorable. So I don't know, it stood out to me for being funny, it stood out to me for being nostalgic, and it stood out to me as just, again, a fantastic piece. I love the really dark, deep purple in the background, but then the pink kind of outline that the Death Knight gets. And that's, of course, around Zelda, because it really helps to contrast and bring everything forward, just that extra layer, because if she had left it without the outline, yes, it would still be very much, noticeable from the background, but this just helps it really pop, really stand out. Not to mention, the fire effects on Zelda's hand look really well done. And I can't tell if those are meant to be sprites or spirits or what's going on, but again, they're super well done, really awesome to see all the different colors and shades. It has a very, I don't want to say JoJo feel, like I get that's the idea with the action anime lines, and I'm not sure what kanji that is, but I don't know, it felt really cute and I really appreciated it, so here it is. Now I picked this piece because, I'm not gonna lie, this stood out to me as one of the most detailed pieces that I've seen on her website, especially with the background and the blood moon. Like, it looks fantastic. The ominous feeling emitting from that deep crimson red is beautiful, and you can still see the smaller details, the layers, the craters, the different shades. It was spectacular. Not to mention, you pull into the foreground and you've got all the detail on the blade, the reflection, the light shining off of it, the beautiful blue flame or flower petals near the bottom, and all of the small little details on Miriam herself was just really phenomenal. I'm not gonna lie, I have never played Bloodstained, but I know John has. Again, bringing John into all of this because he's played so many games with really striking character visuals and character models that just make for fantastic artwork. So couple that with, again, just how beautiful this is, even the visage of the kind of lighter sky in the middle left there in the background, coming into that darkness. Just everything about this piece was kind of really jumping out at me as one of these standouts that she has done, and I think it was phenomenal. Now, I picked this piece for a couple reasons. One of them being that I believe it is the same character, I'm assuming an OC, of the one who was eating an onion ring, so, respectable choices. But the other one is, like I talked about with a few of my other videos, representation of other people's is important. And I don't know if it's just me, but I don't see a lot of artwork that depicts people in, I guess, non-conventional circumstances. So in this case, the fact that she's missing most or about half of her right arm, and there's not, a prosthetic or a mechanical replacement, and there'd be nothing wrong with that by any means. But so often we don't see this depiction of someone living a happy life, being a normal person, when they have something different about them. I don't want to call this a disfigurement, though I'm sure that would be an accurate term. But the fact that she's missing an arm, and there's no, there's no grief, there's no sadness, there's no pity, there's no anything that shows she is struggling to live the life that she wants to live, I think is wonderful. And I think for someone, they're going to see this and they're going to see themselves in that, which is awesome. So I wanted to say thank you to Elver, thank you to all the artists who take their time to depict characters like this. I have no idea who you know in your life or who you've had the pleasure of meeting, but there are millions and millions of people out there who don't find themselves represented in a lot of artwork that I think really deserve it. So I wanted to really shout out this piece, really just take a minute to appreciate, again, the lighting, the color schemes, and the fact that she's living her life in a completely normal fashion and she's happy with what she has, where she is. So moving on to something a little lighter. So, ladies, gentlemen, everyone in between and beyond, we have reached the halfway point of the video. I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen of Elver's work so far. We have a few more pieces to go through, but I did want to take a moment to stop here, remind you that her social media links, her commission pages, everything like that is in the description down below. I will be showing all of her commission prices as I had last seen them on her website here in the video, but please understand that your commission may be under a different commission pricing, or her prices may have changed by the time that this video goes up. So understand that she may have updated pricing, and please contact her and ask her, what will this cost me? And understand if it is or is not within your budget. Please understand that, again, I am in no way involved in that transaction. It's purely between you and her. So she will give you the time frame, pricing, whether or not she is willing to take the commission. And please be understanding that she has every right to make her own choices. With all that being said, let's get to the rest of the video. So I'm not gonna lie, I believe this piece is arguably one of my favorites, not only because it depicts kind of a softer style than some of her other things, and feels like it was almost painted, by hand. I'm not sure if this was a hand painting or a digital one, but this also just had such a Ghibli feel to it. Now, I get it's not, a perfect recreation of Ghibli's style, and that's fine. I think so many people get hung up on, it doesn't look exactly like this one artist. Well, of course it doesn't. It's by a completely different person. But it, as the kids would say, it's giving Ghibli vibes. Now, I don't know if I use that appropriately. I'm almost 30. I don't know what the hell these kids are talking about anymore. All I know is I'm a huge Ghibli fan, and I loved this little flame sprite, this little flame spirit. They're so cute. They're so kind of... They've got that inclination that there's nothing going on behind those eyes, especially because they're a little misshapen. You know, the dots aren't exactly centered. But they're just happy to be there. They're just vibing. They're just enjoying what little existence they have left before they finally get extinguished and are gone forever. And I hope we can all be like that one day, you know, just vibing, just enjoying what little time we have left as the Earth slowly plummets into absolute chaos and becomes an unlivable hellscape. Now on to other things. So sticking with that softer feel, I picked this, I think it's a Tauren from World of Warcraft. I have very little experience with World of Warcraft, so if I have upset anyone, I do apologize. I know this would technically be, oh boy, I'm going to say a Minotaur, and if I've offended even more people, I'm really, really sorry. But I don't know, I really like the soft lines in this one. It kind of gave it a more gentle feel, especially because this feels like more of a druid class, like more of a one with nature, calm, down to earth, not the stereotypical charging bull, raw rage, you know, break everything in a China shop barbarian style. This was like the calm, relaxed, meditative druid who's, again, just happy to be there. They're not judging anyone, they're not dealing with anyone, they're just running around the forest, doing their own thing, not hurting a fly. And you know what? I respect it. Though, whenever I look at a nose piercing, even if it's on an animal, I think, what would that feel like? Now, I don't have any piercings personally, and I don't plan to get any, but with a nose piercing especially, I can't imagine A, you know, piercing your cartilage between the bridge of your nose, but also B, I feel like I would just constantly think about that ring in my nose. Not because it's piercing through me, because, like, it would be resting on my nostrils. And that just, to me, strikes me as such an uncomfortable feeling. But moving away from that, the pink crystals emitting that kind of gentle glow that you can really see, you know, lightly shading the face, I think is a fantastic detail. And even the glow in the left shoulder pad, just in the top corner there, is really, really nice. Kind of like that magical, mystical aura going on. All in all, this was an amazing piece. I loved it. And unfortunately, we do have to move on because we are near the end of the video. Now, I picked this piece because A, it's fantastically done. B, Fruits Basket was an amazing anime. C, my wife actually loves Fruits Basket way more than I do. So to see Toru hanging out with Kyo, and then Yuki just crying on her shoulder at the fact that he's getting no love, is super adorable. I also loved the choice of the picnic blanket background. To me, it felt very fitting, you know, like they were just out having a lovely picnic, maybe a warm spring afternoon on the lake, and it's just easier for everyone to hang out in their animal forms. Honestly, just, again, super wholesome, super cute, made me think of my wife, which is never a bad thing. And yeah, I don't know, I appreciated the simplicity of this piece, because it's got some amazing detail, but it doesn't feel, you know, over the top. It doesn't feel like it needs a whole lot of action or a whole lot going on to just really draw you in. It's very calming, very relaxing, and very gentle. So I picked this piece for a few reasons. One is that it kind of felt relatable, you know, me teaching English right now, having students in kind of the middle school age with a stack of books behind them, just sitting on their phones during break time, just hanging out. And a lot of them actually come in school uniforms, so it was weird for me to see that kind of firsthand, because when I was growing up, I never had a school uniform, and it was always an anime thing. Now, I get it, a lot of schools did have uniforms, but it's weirder to see in person on a regular basis. Now, I picture this girl is probably just, you know, sat down after a couple hours of studying. Maybe she made her own dimensional space, that's why it's all white in the background, so she can just hang out and not be bothered by anyone, you know. She wants some peace and quiet, just doom scrolling TikTok or whatever. In all honesty, what really drew me to this piece was the frog. Now, I love frogs to an unhealthy degree. I follow a couple broadcast channels on Instagram that are just dedicated to frog artwork, and this little guy is a standout. His little tail, his little feetsies, the eyes that just say, nah, I'm asleep, don't bother me. He is just vibing, and I respect it. He's got that little angry mouth, a little upset mouth. He's so cute. He's so cute. But again, going back to, you know, the main focus of the piece, the character is really well done. I love the little star earrings. The amber eyes are a nice touch. to add just some additional color. And I appreciate they didn't just go with like, green eyes to match the green hair. So all in all, again, phenomenal piece. But I don't know if it can top the last piece I have lined up for today. So I picked this to be the final piece of the commentary section of the video because, I don't know, just something about this stood out to me. Like, I don't know if it's the stupid look on his face, the fact that his eyes are literally popping out of his head, or just like the anime blush cheek lines, or the fact that it says, yeah. Like, this right here is the definition of, he's just a little guy, and he's so cute, because he is so dumb. Like, there is nothing going on inside that head, and I just want to protect him. He's so adorable. I don't know why, it's the dumbest things that, like, really catch my eye and really get me going, but this right here, ladies, gentlemen, everyone in between and beyond, is perfection. This is art. Now, of course, everything else I've shown from every other artist I've shown and every artist I have coming up is equally as valid, equally as awesome. It's just this guy right here, like, just hits it out of the park. And seeing as we cannot top this, cannot beat the peak of artwork from Miss Elver Lee, I think it's time to wrap up this video. Alright everyone, thank you so much for being here, so much for, sticking with me. I apologize if I seemed rambly or if I talked kind of funny. Like I said, not feeling too well, but I wanted to make sure I recorded this video, edited it, and had time to send it to Elver so they could look it over before I sent it out live. Please don't forget that all of their social media links, their commission pages, as per usual, will be in the description down below. Feel free to check them out. I encourage you to do so. And if it's within your budget, absolutely commission a piece from them. They do amazing work. It's well within their rights to deny it, to set a time frame, to set all of that. So please understand, they're a human being. I have never and will never feature AI artists on here, so everyone here is a human being, meaning they have their own limitations. And I have mine, I gotta go. But anyway, thank you so much to Elver for letting me showcase their work. Thank you to everyone who stuck around. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTube stuff. It really helps me. But more than anything, please share their artwork with their permission, mind you, around, tell your friends about it. Maybe your friend's looking for something. Otafest is coming up. Other anime conventions are maybe winding down. This would be the perfect time to get something ahead of the curve. With all that being said, thank you, ladies, gentlemen, everyone in between and beyond, so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Have a wonderful time, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.